Let's go get our cervixes looked at. I frequently have my vulva out in front of a stranger. Things are going up there all the time, I'm not gonna lie, so it wasn't a shock to me.
Right, so relax as best as you can. Deep breaths. Use my fingers.
Here I need you. Yeah. Small just a little bit. Try just a little bit.
Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is emmatamsinhill. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we have a very special video. I am getting my first smear test today, and I wanted to bring you along with me. I'm 26, I'm 27 this year, and I've actually never had a smear test yet. So it was overdue that I needed to get this done. I don't know, I haven't been putting it off, but I got the letter and then I lost the letter and then I forgot about it, and then I was like, oh shit, I actually need to go and get a smear test done. But yeah, like, I'm not actually nervous at all. I'm not nervous, but I think it's because in the past I've had sexual health checkups. I once went for a sexual health checkup where they had a trainee doctor there, and so the doctor said to me, oh, would you mind if we did like a physical exam on you, because we have a trainee doctor and I just want to show them like how it would go, and you seem like a really friendly person. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So I've had a speculum inside me before and like a swab done inside me, so I kind of know what it's like, and it didn't hurt, and that was like completely out of the blue, unexpected, so that didn't hurt. It was just kind of more a little bit uncomfortable, so I'm thinking it's going to be the same kind of feeling as that. My friends have told me it's not that bad. Obviously people take pain differently. Some people are like, it's horrible. Some people are like, you don't feel a thing. I just want to take you guys with me and show you that it's really not a big deal, and you should go and get your smear done because it could save your life. I'm using my new car tripod thing today, so that's great. We can now vlog in the car. People are probably driving past thinking, why is this girl recording herself? I'm actually getting mine done at my local GP in Preston. I haven't switched my GP to Manchester because I'm still in Preston a few times a week, so I'm going there to get it done, and I honestly feel like I'll be out in 10 minutes. Like, my appointment is 11:20 and I feel like I'm just going to be in and out by past. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect. Like, I think I'll just go in, she'll tell me to lie down, take my pants off, and then come round and open me up and, oh, there was a massive pothole there, swab me up. So I've looked at videos online, and it's basically like they put the speculum inside you. So speculum is a device that goes in and opens up. It's kind of like a beak of a bird. Goes in, opens up, so then the nurse can see my cervix. And then she puts this little swab thing in, twists it around, and collects some DNA from my cervix. Then it'll go and get tested, and it'll tell me if I have HPV, which is an STI, but I think it's a very, very, very common STI that goes away on its own, like it can't be treated, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I will do some research and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. And it will also detect any abnormal cells for cervical cancer. So I remember when I was at school and we all had the cervical cancer jabs. Do you guys remember that as well? That must have been like 2010, maybe 2009. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know, I feel like I'm really not phased. But I think that's good, because I think it'll show you guys it's not a big deal and it's nothing to be scared of. So let's go get our cervixes looked at. I'll catch up with you when I get there. I am here. I'm kind of nervous now, but I'm not going back now. I will explain everything when I get in the car, but I'm just having to take a quick pregnancy test. So I'll explain when I get in the car, okay? Great. She's just going to get a torch so she can look at my cervix.
Right, so relax as best as you can. Deep breaths. Use my fingers.
It's okay.
Well done, deep breaths for me. So just an open speculum. We'll take a sample now. And then coming out.
Okay.
Well done, isn't it?
That was fine. Okay, So I just had my first smear test. Let me tell you what happened. I only recorded my face whilst we were actually doing the smear test because my nurse didn't want to be on camera, which is fine. So I just recorded my face whilst it was happening, so you could see my genuine reaction. So let me run you through it. Went in, sat in there, and she basically explained to me, I said, this is my first smear test, and she was like, oh, okay. And she basically explained to me why we were doing the smear. Basically, she said, I was wrong before when I was talking about HPV, right? HPV is not an STI. She said they check for HPV, which she basically just said is a virus, but it's like a common cold for your cervix. So it clears up by itself, like the body will naturally get rid of it. And she said if it comes back and you do have HPV, they do another smear in a year's time just to check that it's cleared up. Also, they check for abnormal cells. Abnormal cells, as a man looking at me, record myself right now. Hello, sir. Abnormal cells don't mean you have cancer. They just might be abnormal cells. So sorry, but my car just locked itself. They check for the abnormal cells, you know, in case they have to look into it further, etc., etc. And it's very important to get it done. So she said all that. You can get your smear when you're 25 years old. You get sent a letter. And once your letter has come in the post, like, you go and get your test, and then I think you get them done every 3 years. Actually, you get a smear every 5 years. But obviously, if you have HPV, like, you'll go the next year, everything like that. She said to me that I will probably get the results in about 6 weeks' time, because they basically send off the test results to Manchester, they look at them, get a lab result, bring it back. If there were any abnormal cells, I will go to the next big hospital, which would be Preston Hospital, and get another screening done, just so they can check it more thoroughly. If everything comes back clear, then you're all good. You don't need to do anything. If it does come back that you have HPV, you have to just get another test in a year's time just so they can keep an eye on it. And then basically I had to do a pregnancy test because she asked me a few questions. So she asked me if I've been having any abnormal bleeding. She asked me when my last period was. And I told her my last period was, because I have a period calculator. Guys, if you don't track your cycle, I really recommend that you do. There's different ones. There's like Clue, Flow, a few others. I personally use Flow, so I can see here my last period was the 17th of February. And now I'm late on my period because I had to take emergency contraception, and I've put, when I took the emergency contraception in my calendar as well, I was having sex with my babes and the condom split, so I needed to get emergency contraception. So I got that on the 6th of March, which has now made me late on my period. But, you know, I knew I was going to be 2 weeks late because I've took this emergency contraception. So she just said, we just have to do a pregnancy test just to make sure I'm not pregnant, because they don't do smears on pregnant women. So, yeah. So I had to go and pee in a cup. So I peed in my cup. And I brought it back, and she asked me some more questions just about if I've been having any pain or irregular bleeding during sex, any spotting between my periods, when my last period was, just general stuff like that. So that was great. And then I peed in the cup, came back, gave it to her. She did my pregnancy test. It was negative. Hallelujah. I'm not ready for babies just yet. In fact, I text I might as well call my boyfriend. And no, if you follow me, we'll call him Mr. Z. I text Mr. Z and said, bad news, you're not going to be a father. And he sent me heartbreak emojis. And he also said I was ready to get my Burberry shirt. It's giving father, baby father. Anyway, so I did that test, and she said, yep, you're negative. So I actually didn't put my legs in the stirrups. I thought I was going to have my legs in stirrups, but I didn't. So I was apprehensive about that. But it was basically just a table, a bed, with some, like, paper on, and she put a pillow for me to put under my hips so that, you know, I could have a bit of lift. And then she told me to put my legs in, like, my feet together like this, and butterfly my legs out, basically. I get waxes, so I don't feel awkward in these situations because I frequently have my vulva out in front of a stranger, so it wasn't that awkward for me. But you guys that have obviously never had a wax or never had this done before, you might be a bit apprehensive. Guys, when I tell you, these nurses do so many of these tests a week, if not every day. So it's very normal for them to see all these body parts. They deal with pregnant women all the time. Like, they're looking at vaginas, they're looking at vulvas. So please do not worry. So she told me, like, she basically ran me through everything that was going on. She was like, I'm putting the speculum inside now. I'm opening the speculum. I'm going to take the swab. And she told me before I even led down what was going to happen. She said, I will put the speculum inside of you. I'll open it up so I can look at your cervix. And she has a torch, like, shining at my cervix so she can see inside. If you don't know what a cervix is, it's basically at the top of your vaginal canal. Your cervix sits there. And past your cervix is your uterus, which is obviously, if you're pregnant, that's where your baby lives. Basically, I'm not an expert at this, but to my knowledge, explain it the best I can, we all have eggs, yeah? Every month we release an egg. the egg will go, I don't actually know where the egg goes, but it'll travel down the fallopian tubes, right? Your body's trying to get pregnant all the time. Like, so it'll create a thick lining around your uterus. And when your egg is not fertilized, as in when sperm has not come into your cervix or uterus, or I don't know, the womb lining sheds. So that your period was like your body getting ready to have a baby in there. Do you know what I mean? But obviously there's no baby in there, so it sheds, and that's your period. So obviously that's your uterus lining. So your cervix is like the entrance to that. Your cervix is the gateway between the vagina, which the vagina is just the inside of your hole basically, and your uterus. Your actual downstairs parts, the lips, the clitoris, all that, that's called a vulva. Your vagina is the inside. Just in case some of you guys didn't know that, okay? We'll do some education today, and I'm not an expert, guys. There is many women out there who are more expertised. That's not even a word. There's many more people out there, not just women, people out there that study this, like, and it's their job, and they're very smart. This is just my basic knowledge that I'm giving to you, because you might not know. So basically, I laid down, butterflied my legs out. She told me to, you know, I had off everything. So I had my shoes off, my pants off, my knickers off. She actually put some, like, she called it a jelly, but it's basically like a lube. She put lube on the speculum and put the speculum. She said to me, I'm putting the speculum inside now. So she was very, very gentle. Bless her soul, like, I could tell she was really trying to make me feel comfortable. And she was just saying, just carry on breathing. Make sure you try and be as relaxed as possible. And it was just like a little bit cold, really. Like, it's just, I mean, things are going up there all the time, I'm not going to lie, so it wasn't a shock to me. I was just apprehensive though, because I was like led down like that and my legs like weren't in the air, and usually I would think it'd be easier to enter if my legs were up, you know what I mean? But it didn't actually hurt at all. I think because she was so gentle and she was like really taking care and time to make sure I was comfortable, and also there was like a lube on the speculum. So put it inside, and then she said, I'm going to open it up now, and I was like, okay. Chun, 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 cranked it open, and she didn't do it fast, like she did it slow. And then once, it didn't even hurt. Like, I was wary that part might hurt the most, but it actually didn't at all. Honestly, I would just say it's a little bit of like uncomfortableness. It's like some rumbling around going down there. Do you know what I mean? It's like a new feeling, but it wasn't painful in my personal experience. And I think that was because I was so relaxed. And instead, okay, I'm going to take the sample now. So put the thing in and basically like brushed around on my cervix. That didn't hurt at all. I also thought maybe that'll hurt, and it didn't hurt at all. Again, it was just like a strange feeling. I wouldn't even say it was uncomfortable. It was like a tickle, like a tiny little tickle. And then she took that out, and then she said, okay, I'm going to take the speculum out now, and cranked it down and took it out. And that was it. And I said to her, oh my God, that didn't hurt at all. I said, obviously this is my first smear, so I wasn't sure. I've heard people say it hurts and stuff like that. And she was like, honestly, you were really relaxed. So, and she said to me, because I was so relaxed, that's probably why it didn't bother me at all. She said before, like, she's had people and you can tell when they're tense, because she's like, when they're trying to open the speculum and you're going against someone's tight, contracted muscles. So honestly, guys, I would say, even if you're really nervous, try your hardest to just breathe and be calm and be not tense, because the tenseness, like, when you're like this, it's just going against everything. And I know it might feel uncomfortable for some of you guys to be out there, like, everything out, but honestly, I had a tissue over my tummy, the top of my legs. She didn't even like tell me to take that off. So honestly, she was just in between my legs looking like that. I didn't feel like super naked. Like, when I go for a wax, you put the sheet on, but as soon as they come in the room, they're taking the sheet off, and I am naked from here down, everything. So I feel like this was less invasive than getting a wax, in all honesty. The nurse was really, really nice, and she also kept asking me, do you have any questions? And I feel like if you're nervous, like, ask questions. They're there to tell you the answers and make you feel comfortable. Especially the nurse doing your exam. They'll know that you might feel uncomfortable, and they want to help you feel less comfortable, because it makes their job easier as well. They don't want to be like having a patient that's really tense and uncomfortable and in pain. Like, they don't want that at all. So I think it's important to just ask questions if you need to, stay calm, and even say to your nurse, I'm feeling really nervous, because they might have some words to help you feel less nervous. So that's it, guys. That's really it. It was not bad in my personal experience. I don't know, some people might have more sensitive cervixes than me, but honestly, it wasn't bad in my personal opinion. And it's also very, very important to go and get So, I hope this has egged you on to go and get your cervical screening. You have to be 25 to go and get it done. You'll get sent a letter in the post usually, and then you can book your screening. It was great, so hopefully I'll get my results in like 6 weeks' time, and hopefully everything's all clear. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to go out for lunch now with my friend, and I feel very happy because I've accomplished my first cervical screening, and it was not bad at all. So yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and I'll see you very soon with a new one. Okay, love you all.